Sounds, camera, action with inspiring leaders. Today's topic is unlocking genius from pain to purpose. We will explore what it really means to be a good human in education and how we create spaces where young people feel seen, valued, and able to thrive. We are joined by Mr. Toby Gorniak, MBE, founder of the Gorniak Method and mentor, TEDx speaker, Netflix actor, author, hip hop artist, and choreographer. But at the core, his message is simple: every young person has greatness within them. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. To start with, tell us about your early years in school and what have you picked and what have you learned from those early years of your life?
Yeah, for my early years in education were really difficult, were really hard. As a young Roma person brought up in Poland, it's very difficult because I was one child in the whole classroom who was different, and I really struggled. The children wouldn't let me fit in, the teachers wouldn't let me fit in. The education was sort of against me at that moment in time when I was a young child. I remember many difficult moments, and one of the most difficult moments was there's one day I got ready for a test, I practiced and I got ready. And you know that day when you come into somewhere because you're ready and you know you've got this rocky moment, you're like, dun, 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 dun. It's this good feeling. I had this feeling in my belly that I'm going to do so good because I practiced and I was ready. And I walked into the classroom, did my everything, opened the book, teacher said write, and I'm writing, and just everything is coming to my head. It was just perfect. And I looked around the room, I was finished, I was so excited, put my hand up, I was finished. Miss Kane picked up my book, read my book, ripped my book, and smacked me. And that was my introduction to education. And that was my education every single day when I was in Poland.
Oh my God. So at what point, like, did you decide I will continue this I will not continue this cycle? I will become something different to others or for others? Like, what point you decide that?
You see, for me, I don't think there was one decision. There wasn't like this one moment, you know? There was one moment later in my life, I think, with my wife, that there was one special moment. But before that, as a child, I just knew that was wrong. And there was something more for me. It was unfair. It was unjust. I get it if, you know, when I was a child, if I did something wrong, I get told off. I understand that. One
Exactly.
and one equals two. I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I was just a good boy. So why me? What did I do? And I was really confused that day, looking at the teacher going, what did I do? And that was really difficult to understand. But during my growing up, I've learned so many lessons from everything that happened. And but the thing is, those people were the greatest teachers because they taught me what not to be. And that were my lessons.
But did you ever ask, like, why they are doing this? Have you ever got the courage to ask that questions to them?
As a child, you wouldn't, because you know if you say anything, you're gonna get another smack. So you don't ask questions.
That's been a really hard life, and you remember those incidents today, and you have
Not
picked
forget
up,
that.
as you said, that I know what I don't want to be. So, and that's such a great message for our students, for our teachers who have been going every day to the classroom. The words they are using for the students, what kind of
Yeah,
words they're using, because kids are going to remember when they
yeah.
grow old. So how did those early experiences shape of how you see young people today?
So as a young child, I was just a sponge. I was learning all these incredible things, but all these things taught me so many lessons of what I needed. I needed a teacher. I needed a big brother. I needed a parent. I needed a guide. I needed a friend. That's what I needed. And I think this is what I give to other kids when I work with them. I give them the things they need. And it's about being observant. It's about listening and truly listening without our own judgments. And it's about understanding that no child wakes up angry for no reason. There is a reason. We call it, in my company, we call it the ripple effect. Who was the first person who threw that stone in that puddle and then for it to start rippling? Who was the first person? And if you can get to that question of what happened to you today, and if you can get the answer from a child, oh my God, the things you can do for those children is phenomenal because they were heard, they were seen, they were listened to, they were understood. And most of the time, they're left to the side because they're just too much trouble.
True. But has education changed when you meet these young people? Has education changed the what happened with you? Do you think that's still happening or it has been controlled in some ways because of the change happening around the education world?
So in Poland, yes, it has changed. In Britain, it was a huge thing. So when I came to England, I had amazing teachers. Teachers who wanted me to learn, teachers who wanted to give me a chance, who wanted to give me the opportunity, who said to me, there was one special teacher. She was phenomenal. She said to me, Toby, if you work hard, you can have anything in your life. Just please work hard. And I took every chance and I took every opportunity I had in my life in school. And I said yes to everything. And there were things I didn't like, but I did them. And because I did them, I had a fantastic childhood after that. And I had amazing experiences and amazing opportunities. But in the world today, we still have education that's even worse to what I experienced. Very recently, I had the opportunity to go to Slovakia. And the stuff the children are experiencing there is 100 times worse than what I experienced. And that's happening today. And this is the most scariest thing. And we're talking about Europe, Central Europe today, 2026. Children are segregated in different schools. Children are treated like they have a disability just because they're from a Roma background, because they're non-white children. It's horrific to know that this is still happening today, but there is hope. Because there's people like me, there's people like you who are fighting for the goodness, who are fighting for the future, who are fighting for the children. And that's the key to it.
And that surprises me. It's an eye opener, whatever you're saying, because I really don't know what's happening that side of the
Yes.
world. Because where I am, I think we are living in a bubble. We are safe,
Yes.
we are protected,
Yes.
and that's somehow I should say positivity as well as the negative part at the same time for this.
Yes.
Because the kids don't know when they leave this country and they're going to some other country, they don't know what challenges they're going to face.
No. No.
As a mom, I have a 15-year-old boy. I'm scared to send him out. Like he said, Mama, I don't want to leave this country. I want to
Yeah.
study here because they hear a lot of stories happening there with the kids. Kids are committing suicide. They are
Yes.
not, so much is happening. And my boy is scared to leave this country. He said, I don't want to leave this country. I
Yeah.
feel safe.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you have a beautiful place that you feel safe and you know you can grow and you know you can develop, why would you go anywhere else where there's danger? And the world at this moment in time is very difficult. And when you do find a place where it's safe and it's beautiful, it's so nice because you can actually develop, you can actually grow,
True, true.
and you can actually truly become who you're supposed to be without dealing with all the stresses around you.
True. Let me ask you this question. How do you define a good human?
Um, to me, a good human, someone who is loving as a human being, but to all. We don't choose. I work sometimes with very difficult people and I still show them love. I don't go, well, these people are difficult. I'm not going to love them. I'm not going to show them respect. I'm not going to show them kindness. To me, a good human being is someone who can look beyond and tries to understand what happened to that person to be the way they are. So to me, a good human is someone who has understanding and kindness in the heart first.
True, true. And that's so important, especially in the world where we are right now. So, was there a moment when you realized you had healed or transformed your own pain into purpose?
Yes, there was one moment. So the story goes like this. Me and my wife met at the Theatre Royal. She was an acting teacher. I was a dancing teacher. And one day she said, oh, just a friend. She said, would you like a lift? I'm going to work. I said, oh, brilliant. Give me a lift. And just before she gave me a lift, I had an argument with my mum. And as a young boy who's 18, I thought I was right. So, but lots of times as a man, you keep everything to yourself. You don't share with other people. Your problems are your problems. You're a man, get on with it. That's the kind of culture I came from. And I remember getting into the car. I remember telling her everything. And then I had this experience out of body going, Toby, why are you telling this girl everything? What are you doing? To someone who never says nothing, to keep everything to himself. And suddenly I'm telling this girl everything. I was so confused. And then what happened was when we put up to the job, we're outside the theatre. Jo seen that I was a bit upset. And she said, would you like a hug? And I went, never had one. I'm 18 years old. My family, because we had a very hard life, lots of people talk about tough love. I had a lot of tough, not very much of love. because we had to survive. My mum was a very strong woman, and she taught us to survive. So when Joe said to me, would you like a hug? I never had one, so I was like, I don't know. This is a bit like, what do I do? And so then we got out of the car, and she said, would you like a hug? And I went, like a big baby, like I don't know. Yeah. So she just walked up and gave me a hug. And that changed my entire life. I didn't know, but this moment, I lived my entire life like the lights are dimmed. I seen everything, but I didn't see it 100%. That's how I seen the world. To that moment, and I thought, wow, one human being can make you feel like this just by giving you a hug, just by seeing you, just by listening to you. And one person can make such a difference in your life. I was like, wow. And that was this huge, huge effect on me in my life. 1 year later, we ended up getting married, which was incredible. But in that moment in time, the most beautiful thing my wife taught me was kindness. Kindness to another human being. And that has driven all my work and everything I ever did, because I received so much kindness. I know what it means. I know how it feels. I would want to share that with other stuff. And that was my big wow moment in my life where I went, this is what I'm going to do.
That's so amazing. So how do you separate your identity from your past experiences when you work with young people? Yeah.
So for me, all of the things that I am, they intertwine. So they are plaited like my hair, so like my plaits. They're all put together to one. And this is what makes me. And I feel lots of times people would love us to define ourselves into little boxes. We're not one thing. We're 10 things. Like me, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a neighbor. I'm so many things. I'm a cousin, I'm a friend. Yeah. I am so many, and all those things make me who I am. And all those things are important to give them attention and love and care to each element. And that makes the whole person that I am.
That's so much like coming from you, and a lot of information you have shared so far. And what you're trying to do there, making a difference, that huge impact in society where we are living in. Although I do understand some people wants to change, wants to understand you, and some of you, they don't want to. So you can't do anything about those people who don't want to change, who don't want to see you as a person you are, rather than giving you tags or labels, So let me ask you a next question about labels. So you say you don't see labels, you see individuals, right? How do you train yourself to do that consistently in real environments like schools or coaching spaces?
I think for me, as a child, I remember how much it hurt me. I remember when a teacher walked up to me and said, "You're no good." She didn't even know me. And I looked at her really gutted, thinking, you didn't even give me a chance. You don't even know what's in here, in my heart. You don't know how much passion and love I have for this. She just wouldn't give me a chance. I remember that pain. So when I work with everyone else around me, I remember that. And that's my leading understanding of I wouldn't cause pain to somebody else, the pain I received. I know how much it hurt, and I would want to make sure I never pass that on to any other human being. Yeah. That's how I lead my days, and that's how I lead my life with everything I do. It's about seeing the human being.
Great. So what are the most common emotional struggles you see in young people today?
At this moment in time, the biggest things I face when we're working in education and young people is confidence and resilience. Two huge things that are damaging, breaking, disrupting children's lives. And the two things that are missing in the world everywhere. This isn't just, one country. This is worldwide. Our young people are feeling lost. And that's all to do with confidence and all to do with resilience, to be able to overcome something and to be able to take a risk.
True. And do you want to share one of the stories from your journey from one of the students, or if anyone has shared with you, if that's...
Yes. Yeah, I've got plenty. But I would choose my first kid, my first child I ever worked with. And I've done 20 years work with that young man. So his name is Josh. He's a young kid, really struggled in education, didn't go to school. I was running a couple of dance projects and police projects and community projects. And I had a fantastic relationship with the head teacher at the school. So I went and spoke to the head teacher. He used to be my head teacher, so me and him had a good relationship. And I said, but so Josh is not turning up at all. What if he comes with me 3 days a week and 2 days a week he attends school? But 2 days a week he's with me, he's actually doing something those days. He went, deal, fantastic. Every day, keep a track of when he's attending, what you guys doing, where you're going. I said, not a problem. So Josh worked with me. And today, so Josh was a young man who struggled in education. He wasn't aware, but the education wasn't aware back then that he was dyslexic, that he needed extra help. The only reason he really struggled and he was very not good in class because he just didn't understand. He couldn't focus. He really, really struggled with lots of things. When he worked with us, we found out, oh, he struggles with these things. So we really looked into Josh. After that, Josh ended up doing an MVQ in youth work with us in our company. After that, he went to college to study film and photography. After that, he went to university. He finished film and photography. Now he is a filmmaker, dancer, and producer. Wow. Now he's got a wife, a baby, and he lives in New Zealand. And last year he was getting married. He rang me up. He said, Toby, I would like you to be my best man. I said, I'm coming. I'm coming. So me and Joe flew over there and we had the most beautiful time. And this was just one of my kids. And he has succeeded so well. And this is the most beautiful thing. So people say sometimes to me, Toby, what's your favorite award or medal or whatever you have? And I'll give you names because my biggest success is the people. Sure. When the people succeed and thrive and live a fantastic life and they're happy, that's my biggest success. And Josh is definitely one of them.
Wow. And how do you feel?
I feel incredible. I feel incredible I feel humbled that I was part of that journey. That's the biggest thing I love, is to be part of it. I didn't make it. He made it. But I was just part of it.
Do you still connect yourself with the pain you had in early days of your life, with the journeys you have with all these young people? Whenever you meet them, you talk to them, you share stories with them. At what point you felt that their stories are very similar to your story, and then you know it hit you? How you do that? How is the connection between these things happen?
So for me, it's very important to never forget, because when you forget, you repeat the mistake. So it's very important for me never to forget, to be aware of what happened. Very, very important. And I think in the language of humanity, we connect with people. When we truly connect, we don't need no words. We don't need the same language. We just know. So the one thing for me is to be really open and honest with the children. So I don't lie, I tell the truth. And this is when the kids know. The kids can smell it from you. When you come in and you're pretending, they know. And they know when someone's being truthful. They know when someone's being honest. Kids' radar of truth and lies, it's incredible.
And they can read energies, I believe. They can read energies. Like if you don't like a child, the child knows that you don't like him.
Oh, 100%. And no matter what you say, no matter how much you pretend, they know.
Even as an adult, when we are meeting someone else, we know if this person has good intention, yes, or he doesn't want to talk to us, or he doesn't want to have any conversation. We can feel it. That's, you know, yes, we have this as a human. All of us have that. And I'm a great believer of energies. Yes. And, you know, when I enter the room, if I don't feel the right energy, I just can't have the conversation from them.
Yes, yes.
And that's so beautiful as a human, that we can feel that and experience that. And at the same time, I believe, although we are going so much towards AI, still, you can call me old school, but my son, although he is like 15, he still says, if Mama, I have some problem, I want to sit in front of you and talk to you, have that human connection. I know we have social media. I know we are so connected everywhere, but I still believe that a person needs to sit with each other to sort out issues, to share how they feel about each other, because a lot of misunderstanding happens when you don't have a proper communication.
100% agree with you. And I think AI technology is fantastic, don't get me wrong. It's brilliant. But it has its place. The biggest thing I explain to my children is this: it's a tool. Exactly. And we need to know when to use that tool and when to put that tool away. True. And the biggest thing for me is communication has to happen in person, because that energy, this thing happened between us as humans. It's now, if I was in a room with you, it would be so different than what we're doing right now. Yeah, this is okay. Don't get me wrong. This is okay. We're in different parts of in the world, but it's not the same. When you're in the room, you can feel the person.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's something that cannot be replaced. And I think for our children, it's very important not to think that this technology is here to do everything for us. Because there's one thing that it cannot do, and it's give us real connection. Give us those real feelings. Give us that understanding that we need from each other as human beings. And we as human beings, I believe, were made to connect, but really connect with each other, not just through technology. And I think technology is phenomenal, but it has its place.
Exactly. And I think that what we all need to understand as adults, because we are the one who are guiding the young generation, how they
Yes.
have to go further. So if we come home and we tell our child, okay, you know what, mom is busy, dad is busy, just get your iPads and just, so that what we are creating as adults. So later on, we can't blame a child why he's not spending time
No.
with you or why he doesn't have time for you, because that what you have created, you know?
There were our actions. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah,
It's and again it goes back to the ripple effect. The energy, the love, the passion, everything you put into your family, you will get back. And
exactly.
I always say that to people, the more energy and time you put into your family, the more you're going to receive back. Because a family always multiplies. And it multiplies everything you give. So be
100%.
careful what you give.
Exactly. So let me ask you about schools now. If you could redesign schools from scratch, what would be the first three things you would change?
So number one, I would implement my 5 elements, and I would make it that you would use this stuff every single day wherever you go. And it's very simple: respect, peace, love, unity, and having fun. That would be what me as a teacher, me as an educator, all my staff, the whole team would be looking for every day. Your job is not to look to punish a child, to catch a child and being naughty and being cheeky. No, it's to catch a child representing respect, showing kindness, showing love to another child, showing support, encouragement, having fun. When you see those things, highlight those things. Go, that was brilliant, Bobby, that you did that. That was amazing, Sarah, how you showed love and kindness to this person. And these are the keys. This is something we don't focus on enough in education today. And
True.
those values are the values that make incredible, kind people.
Exactly. And I think teachers also need coaching on that to understand that, you know, because I know the stress teachers have in the
Yeah.
classroom. Sometimes I think I'm a teacher, so I know both the sides. So, you know, I know how difficult it would be sometimes. You are stressed, you have a lot of paperwork, a lot of things, checking exams and everything. Sometimes I believe teachers need coaching, teachers need break, but not about, I'm not talking about professional development. I'm talking about breaks like these where we are talking
Yeah.
about connection, kindness, peace, you know.
I think what the biggest thing for me for teachers is this: I have the utmost respect for teachers. But the one thing I know is not the teachers, it's the system that needs to change. And the system needs to allow teachers to have a conversation with a child. So yes, we have an AI. Let AI do the markets. Let AI do the things that, you guys spend 30 hours, 40 hours a week checking and testing and ticking. Why? I'd rather have you that time to speak to a child, to ask them how they're doing. And if there's something they don't know, you can spend 5 minutes with a child. But I know teachers don't even have 5 minutes. They're already 20 minutes behind in every class. And
True.
then we say, why are the teachers not doing more? Why are the teachers so short tempered? Why are the teachers struggling? Why are the teachers not, sorting out the classes?
True.
Do you understand the pressure that the teachers are under? And the thing for me is, every teacher, for me, I love them because they've got the most kindest hearts to choose this job. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world today to be in
100%.
education. So for me, I've got so much love and so much respect for the people. Because for you to choose that job, you go into war every single day. And you still turn it up, and you're still trying, and you try, and you try, and you try, and you never quit. So yes, when you do go home, you're burnt out. But I tell you what, This stuff, I hope it doesn't get missed by the people, how much passion and love these teachers are bringing. And I would love the system to change and to give the teachers more time and more acknowledgement and more respect that they deserve for what they do for our kids.
That's 100% agree on that. And I remember the parents once, like almost 2 years back, she was talking to me about her daughter, and she was like, Miss Vineet, I don't understand how teachers do that. I can't handle 2 kids at home, and you're handling
Yeah.
almost 25 students in the
Yeah.
classroom. So for me, like, you people are doing a great job, and I don't understand why people don't understand that. Because we need that human to understand what we are going through as well. But I'm saying, as you said earlier, we don't have 5 minutes to talk to the child, and that's correct. I
Yes.
agree with you on that. And we need more of that to maintain that kindness and human connection in the classroom.
100%. Yeah.
So, yeah. So let me ask you about the teachers. How can teachers or educators begin shifting from control and correction to connection and belief?
I think stop following the system too much. The problem is, yeah, the system makes it easy sometimes because they send you an email saying, this is your lesson plan, follow it. You don't have to think, you have to do nothing because you're ready. You've got 20 other things that you're delaying or that you got to get done. So you come into the class, you read from the sheet and you go, okay, we're doing this today, get on with it. And then it gives you 20 minutes to quickly catch up on whatever else you need to catch up because, like I said, you're always 20 minutes behind on everything. I would love teachers to go, hold on, how does this fit into what I need to be doing? Is this useful for me? Or does this take my soul away from the class? Because that piece of paper, that information you're given, it's like a computer. We're not computers, we're humans. Sometimes there's stuff in the classroom where there's an energy, there's a buzz. And I would love teachers to have the opportunity to continue that energy on that buzz, to continue. So you did a subject and everyone's like, this was so brilliant. And then what happens? We're going to the next subject. You think, what? This was so amazing. I love this subject. And suddenly we just wiped off and moved on. And that's the thing I think we're missing is this emotions, this emotional intelligence in our classrooms. And only because teachers are under so much pressure again. But for me, for teachers, what I'd love to do, try to take that one class thing you have to do and add one thing to it. The word fun. How can you make that bit more fun? Have a laugh. What could you do in your maths, in your English, in your science, and whatever you're teaching to add that little sprinkle of fun? And to me, that's super important. Within my 5 elements, fun is there. Because without it, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah, like same like how we are cooking, we use different ingredients to make that cooking like the food yummy and tasty. Similarly, in the classroom, we need to do that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you believe every young person is a genius, yeah?
Yes.
So what helps you hold that belief even when behavior or performance suggest otherwise?
Because I never met a child who wasn't. And I mean, I met literally millions of children all around the world when I travel. And if that's in football, if that's singing, dancing, drawing, filmmaking, photography, building things, drawings, like style, clothes, hair, literally there's millions of genius. And I think the word genius, we got so focused, this little tiny box we created, that a genius is someone who has a high IQ. And for me, a genius is someone who can take something and make something beautiful and expresses their heart and soul. That's a genius. For me, when I was in school, I was told I have no genius. I was told I was stupid. I was told I would never achieve or do anything in my life. Till I discovered hip-hop. And in hip-hop culture, not hip-hop commercial, but hip-hop culture taught me one vital lesson. The lesson was knowledge of self. Now, so I can look at myself, yeah. And I can decide who I'm going to be, yes. I can decide how I walk, how I talk, and who I am, yes. No one taught me that. Till I discovered hip-hop. And hip-hop gave me those keys, that kind of mission to look at me. And allowed me to decide who do I want to be. And that was a huge key in my life because then I decided who I wanted to be. But I decided, not the world.
Wow, amazing. So hip hop plays a huge role in your life,
Huge. I mean, as you can see the way I'm dressed, everything is like,
Yes.
I love the culture. I love the whole thing about it because the whole thing about hip hop culture It's about kindness. It's about love for community. It's about growing together, sharing, and about passing on that knowledge. And it's about the wisdom that lives within your community. It's about elevating that wisdom. And the wisdom can come in all shapes and sizes. I have children who are like 5 years old teaching kids who are 16, 18 years old. And they're like, what, this little kid's going to teach me? Yes. He has the knowledge on how to do the basics. You don't know nothing yet. So we're just going to pass on the knowledge. But usually it has to go from the top down because they're oldest to the youngest.
Exactly.
We believe knowledge comes in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Knowledge comes in all shapes and sizes. That's beautiful. It's because I have 5-year-old daughter
Yeah.
and I have 15-year-old son. And I can
Yes.
see sometimes, and girls are so different than boys, and have experienced that in my house because she is very emotional, extremely
Yeah.
emotional. So sometimes when she's crying, and my son is like, "Mom, I don't understand why she cries for everything." Like, no, you need to understand. Like, you can learn how to be emotional from her.
Yeah. Yes.
Because as you said earlier, that the boys have been raised in a way that you don't have to
100%.
cry. You're a boy. You
Yeah.
have to be a certain way. So it was like, you need to understand that emotions are a part of it. You can cry.
Yes.
And that's
That's beautiful.
important for a boy to understand. It's okay to cry. It's
Amazing.
okay to express yourself.
100%. I remember this being a little child, and I fell over, and my mum's words were to me, "Come on, get up, stop crying, brush it off, carry on, go and play again." That happened to my sister 5 minutes after. "Come here, my darling. Oh, what happened? How do you feel? Are you okay? Let's clean the wound." And what my sister learned to do was to communicate about everything. I learned to keep it all inside. Then when I was married, my wife goes to me, "Why don't you speak?" Well, all my life I was taught not to. And now suddenly, because I'm a man, you're telling me I should know how to share my feelings and talk about everything. All my life I was trained not to. So for me, my most magical lessons were from my wife. She taught me about my emotions. She taught me to understand, to communicate, to really feel those things.
Yeah, and
To
that's
really,
important, so important. So I think your wife plays a huge role in the person you have become. Yeah, and that's amazing. Right, when you get the right partner, it makes a huge difference, and
Yes.
hats off to her
yes,
for making you a person you have become. Of course, you have your own things that your struggles, your journey, but one right person can guide you, can, be with you in the right, shape you in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, 100%. And as part of that, what you're saying is, I have this understanding that it takes one person that believes in you for you to be able to achieve anything in the world. It just takes one. And I think my wife has been that for me.
Yeah, for me, it's my dad. I know, even if I'm like, because my dad told me one thing when I was 13 years old, and we all have different experiences in
Yes.
some ways, My dad said, if you have done something wrong or right, you need to understand I'm your father.
Yeah.
I will accept you the way you are, and I'm always with you. I will never leave you alone. All I'm telling you, whatever you have done, just
Yeah.
tell me everything.
Tell me the truth. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And from that day until now, even if I'm awake at 2 a.m. and something is bothering me, he's the first person I call. Because I know
Amazing.
he's the one who has taught me all these things.
Amazing. Amazing. Very good man.
Thank you. Okay,
Amazing.
let me ask you the next question. How do we help a young person reconnect with purpose when they feel completely lost?
I think that the first person with young people is honesty. Showing them your personal vulnerability, honesty. Being honest as a leader, teacher, educator. I think that's the first place. Showing them this honesty and the truth. And being able to look a young person in the eyes and say, I understand, or maybe saying, I don't understand. Help me understand, please, so then I can help you. That's the first place. And once you build that trust and you earn that respect from the young person, only then you can start taking steps to be able to help them. But you have to earn it. You don't get it because you're a teacher. You don't get it because you're a head teacher. You don't get it because you're a parent. You earn it. Once you earned your respect, same thing with adults. When we meet adults, we got to earn the trust. We've got to earn their love. We've got to earn their respect. It's just the way it works. But when it comes to children, well, I'm the teacher, you're the student, you should do as you're told. It doesn't work. We have to respect them as a human being, not as an adult or a child. So kind of this level. And when you can come down to this level where we're all on the same level, yes, I maybe know more because I have more experiences and I had more experience in life and I can share some knowledge with you, 100%. But I'm not discounting that you might know stuff that I'm not aware of. So if we both come down to the same level and treat each other as humans, we have a better connection and can really help each other. So for me, when I work with young people, that's my first place. Earn their respect. And once I earn the respect and earn the trust, only then I can say, what's happening? Then they can tell me that I can go, okay, what steps should we take? But I let them take the step. I don't tell them, well, you should do this and you should do that and you should do that. I ask them, what steps should we take? And I'm here and I've got your back.
True, 100%. So let's talk about the language we use when we communicate with our students.
Yeah.
What role does language, what adults say to students, play in shaping identity? And you have a very good example of, yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things with language is not only language, is tone. People forget tone. Because you can say to someone, I love you, or you can say, I love you. And there's a difference in that tone that's heartfelt, that's real. And there's a thing when teachers can say, well done. Or I am really proud of you, that was incredible. And it's the tone of how we say things. And I think in education, we're trained to look for trouble. And they call it troubleshooting. And as soon as we have that troubleshooting, the first word you look for is trouble. But we didn't call it look for kindness. Look for goodness. And if we have that look for kindness day, look for kindness every day, what happens the first thing you do? You look for kindness. And if you put that energy out, energy comes back to you. So suddenly everyone knows Miss always looks for kindness, so I'm going to show her that I'm the most kind. Do you see what I'm saying? But if I know Miss comes here and she always shouts at everyone, okay, I'm going to have to be really naughty because I need her to shout at me. And it's because the energy we created around us.
True.
So a lot of it in our actions and our language is very important of how we use them. What do we say? And again, our mindset. What mindset do we come into school with? And if we're really stressed already and we're already finding the day difficult, when we enter the school, we're like, oh, now he turns up late. And it's not because he turned up late. It's because all the other baggage we brought with him. So it isn't just a language. It's like I said, like a hair plait. It's many things come together to create one. And I think we just have to be more aware of ourselves, what we bring with us. And that changes our language. But the main thing is, I have this idea of a mindset when I come to school and I work with people. I say to them, pick a cup, take the 5 little notes and write down respect, peace, love, unity, having fun, chuck them in a cup, mix them up and pull one out. The one you pull out, you lead your entire day with. So if it's respect, everything you do is led with that. And if you pull love, you led with that. If it's fun, you pull the entire day with that mission. When we have a mission in our mind and our heart, our day, it's so much easier and better.
True. Wow, a lot of information. When you were talking to me, I was connecting with my own students.
Yes.
Because, I remember because grade 6 now, they're going to grade 7. It will be their middle school.
Yeah.
They're leaving the primary. So the other day, the grade 5 child came to me and was like, the one of your girl is doing this, or she said this to me. And I called her. I was like, what the first thing Miss Vaneet want you to leave with when you leave grade 6? She says, kind to people. I was like, what have you done? And I do understand when people say, they'd say things, they're kids. Of course they will say things, But the one thing that I love about that part is she said, yes, I said that. She accepted it. Yes, I said. And then she apologized and things happened. And I felt, okay, fine, she did a mistake. But the best thing that she accepted that she has done it, and she apologized to this. And at the same time, what I figure it out with, especially when they're moving from primary to middle school, they are having a kind of emotions they are going through.
Yes.
A lot of emotions. They're
100%.
leaving the primary, they're going to middle school, it will be
Yes.
exams, it will be.
It's hard.
And that girl spoke to me after that she's
Yeah.
stressing out because it's been like two or more, 3 weeks left.
Yes.
So, as you said, when you're bringing that baggage with you, same with the
Yeah.
child, when he comes, she or he comes to the school bringing the baggage from home, what kind of emotions or feelings
Yes.
they're bringing from home, that affects so much on their, how they're behaving in the classroom.
And one of the things I love that you said, and you maybe didn't realize it, look at the space you created for the young girl to feel safe to tell you. That is the magic. And that, as an educator, as a human being, to make another human being feel safe, to accept, to go, but okay, I was wrong. Yeah, Miss is right. Okay, I need to think about that. That space you created for her to be able to honor that moment, it is incredible. Because most children will go, I didn't say it. But for her to have the courage to say to you, yes, I said that.
But they're so different from boys. I taught boys from last
Yeah.
2 years. This is the first year I'm teaching girls. And it's a huge difference. Huge difference. Huge, huge. The girls' problems are very different than boys' problems.
Yes.
Like they might fight, they hit each other and done.
Yeah.
Girls, they will keep that grudge for months. They will not talk to their friends.
Yes.
You know?
Because to the young girls, it wasn't just physical, it was emotional.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is where young girls and women are so much more emotionally intelligent, and it hurts so much more. Where to the boys, again, because of the way we're trained, and but as well, lots of times it's to the way we are as boys and men, we're very practical. It's done. Move on. Let's play. So I think that's the beautiful thing in the world, that we have these two different kinds of people. But the most incredible thing is when the two can learn from each other and embrace those messages and the lessons. And if you can balance both of those, wow, you're beautiful human beings.
True. And another thing I just remember, I generally don't say much to my girls and boys. I just look at them and they know from my eyes if I'm angry, I'm like really upset with them. But when I did that with the girls, I'm just looking at them and they started crying. I was like, why are you crying? Like, I'm like, no, miss, you're angry. I'm like, I didn't even say anything. And
Yeah.
with my boys, it was like, miss, okay, fine, we're sorry, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
like so much difference. Okay, miss, get over it. We are sorry about it, and that's it. And the girls will like cry for 1 hour, and it was like, it's okay. And then I was feeling guilty. Oh my God, why I did that?
Yes. And I think that's the amazing thing, again, as a parent, as an educator, you learn how to adjust and you learn how to move. There's a very famous quote that I love and I literally live by every single day. Bruce Lee said it, and he said, be like water, my friend. And that there literally, oh my God, is the most beautiful, most smartest thing I ever heard. And it's about adapting, it's about fluidity, it's about listening, it's about feeling, it's about being in that space. And when I work with the boys, I'm like this. When I work with the girls, I'm like this. And I'll move and shape to what's needed in that moment in time. And I think that shows great wisdom and knowledge to be able to do so. So yeah, you do see the difference between both of them, but finding that balance is,
Exactly, amazing. So let me ask you 2 more questions and then we can move on to rapid fire. So you have been a coach, actor, author, speaker, artist. How do these different identities connect to your core mission?
I think all of them are one person, and they're just the person who wants to show the world how brilliant he is. And that's all it is. I want a chance, an opportunity to show the world, so give me a chance. And all these things I've done were just opportunities. Someone said, Toby, would you like to do that one? Yeah. Would you like to do this? Yeah. Would you like to do this? Yeah. Never done it before. Same thing with the acting and performing, and never done it before, but I just said yes. And when I said yes, I realized, wow, I'm good at it. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. But only because I was given a chance and an opportunity. All of those things are me. Because I don't believe people are one thing. And people sometimes go, no, but he's into football. But why can't he be into football, singing, dancing, rapping, graffiti, drawings, all sorts? That's a human being. We're a whole thing. We're not just one. And I think this is really describing me, that I am, very versatile as a person.
And that's what makes you different. I should say, like, really. And the way you connect with people and then you understand them from their point of view. And
Yes.
that's so important, though, so important. So, do you think creativity plays a role in healing and education? If so, how?
100%. So we as human beings are creators, and our job is to create. And without creativity, we cannot create. When you give a baby a pen and a paper, they start drawing. Without knowing what they're drawing, they're creating. They're being very creative. I think for me, without that, what we have is a system, is a computer. Now, for me, a computer can't feel. A computer can't express emotions in that way as human beings can. And that's creativity. That's our creativity coming out
Yeah.
for our emotions. And I feel in the world where we're going today, it's very important to encourage people more to be creative. And I know in a lot of schools, especially in England, we have stopped dancing, singing, art classes. A lot of that stuff has been cut back. And I think this is where we have children who are struggling. This is one of the points, because there's no creative expression. There's no place to find yourself. There's no place to discover what you're feeling and to be able to express it. I think that's really important. So creativity to me is so key to anything I do. And that's why I do dance. To me, dance, to be able to move, to do stuff, to, let it out of your body, get in your body.
And even your emotions. I generally dance, I can express my emotions. When
Yeah.
I'm upset, I'm angry, when I'm happy.
Yes, that passion, that fire, that beautiful gentleness, I love when sometimes I do crop and it's very powerful, very heavy, very strong. And sometimes I do flips and I want them to glide and float. So I do a flip and just that time and energy. So yeah, for me, creativity is key to humanity.
Amazing. That's amazing. So which of your roles feels more in line with who you are today?
One of my roles, I think the biggest thing I see myself is as a human. I don't see myself sometimes as Toby, as a Roma, as a leader, as a mentor. I'm human. And that means I'm literally just like you. So I'm like you. I'm like everyone else around me. I'm like the man who is super rich. I'm like the man who's super poor. I am all. That's how I see myself. So I'm just human. And I think that's what allows me to connect with people without all these labels, without all these status, without all these other things. Just being human is the most beautiful thing.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we move on to rapid fire, one last message for our audience, for our listeners from your side.
Okay. One thing I love to share with you is fill your cup every single day. What did you do for you? Because if you don't fill your cup, what is your friends, family's, job, anything you do, what are they receiving? An empty cup. And when you're thirsty, it's nice to have some water. One of the things for me is fill your cup with that water. Do something for you. Fill your cup first. And then what spills out, you share with others because you have something to share. But when your cup is empty, you have nothing to share. So please, every morning, fill your cup.
And that's a beautiful message. Beautiful message. Thank you so much. So we're going to move on to rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, one word that defines your childhood.
Pain.
One word that defines your current mission.
Love.
Teacher or coach, what's more powerful?
Educator.
Wow. Belief or discipline, which comes first?
Belief.
Biggest misconception about troubled young people.
Nobody's troubled. They're just misunderstood.
Great. One habit that changed your life.
Filling my cup every day.
Wow. A quote you live by.
Be like water, my friend.
Amazing. One thing every educator should stop doing immediately.
Stop pretending to be human.
One thing every young person should hear daily.
I'm proud of you. You can do it. You're amazing.
Your definition of a good human in one sentence.
Oh, I would say my wife, because she just describes everything to me. Because I think the biggest thing I've learned about my wife is kindness. That kindness, because my wife says something, and it's really profound for me. She says the word, "I see you," and that's what describes it to me.
And that's so important. Sometimes we don't understand. There's such a I see you is like, it's just we say sometimes just like that.
Yes.
But when you mean it from your heart,
Yeah.
that makes a huge difference. As you mentioned earlier, one person can change your life so much if you have that person who believe
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. It's been amazing to have you with us, and you have shared so much information, and I'm sure our listeners are going to love this. Thank you so much for joining us.